Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Coach Fish. Just putting a reminder out that we have a workshop tonight for any parent who has a student athlete in middle school and high school who wants to play JV, varsity, and eventually college. I help provide the tools to not only help them on the court, but off. 90% of athletics isn't on the court. It's not with that skills teacher. It's the choices and decisions that they make in the classroom. It's the choices and decisions that they make outside of the sport. Prom is coming. Year-end graduations are coming. How many of your student athletes are making the right choices? How many are vaping behind your back? How many are doing things that you don't realize? Those choices, you might not catch them now, but what happens when they're 18, 19, and they lose their scholarships? They fail out of school. You might think this is a scare tactic, and it is, in a sense, but it's also the reality. I would know. I've got 2 bachelor degrees, 3 minors, a master's degree. I'm currently doing my doctoral. But nobody knew how bad my drinking, my partying, and my drugs were. I was a college basketball player, so everyone overlooked it. But I was dealing with massive amounts of depression, anxiety, not just from sports and school, but just from life. Peer pressure. I was hiding the things that I was masking all the way back in middle school. But everyone saw me as a good kid. I grew up in a 2-parent home. Both parents are business owners. Leave it to Beaver, is how some people put it. But nobody knew what was going on beneath and behind the scenes. At my 5th school, I drunk drove after drinking wine for the first time. I woke up in a hospital 24 hours later and find out that 23-year-old man, me, drunk drove and killed an innocent 57-year-old man. And it all started because of the choices and decisions that I started to make in middle school. My 8th grade year, I began smoking weed. Nobody knew. I began drinking my junior year. My family didn't know. I was drinking every day my senior year. Nobody knew. But that's what happens, especially with student athletes. So if you actually look at all the research, especially in college athletes have the highest rates of drinking and drug problems and mental health problems than any demographic in college. And it all starts in middle school and high school. So tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday morning, I have coaches' workshops where I tell you not only about my story, but how I help prevent your student athlete from making those choices and consequences that are not only going to hurt them now, but when they're adults as well. Just think about this. Right now, 60 million adults in America, men and women my age in the workforce who have middle school and high school kids, are struggling with mental health, drug, and alcohol problems. 60 million. And where did all that happen? If you actually researched and went through all their life stories, I bet you the vast majority of them started thinking it was okay in middle school and high school. So I'm Coach Fish. I'm here not only to help your student athlete on the court, off the court, I'm here to help you and your family. My parents didn't imagine having to spend millions of dollars in legal fees and restitution and insurance claims because their college athlete's son would drink and drive and take an innocent life. Do you know how hard that was for them going into public for the next 5, 6, 7 years? And my brothers after? There was a black eye on our family for the entire next 20 years while my younger brothers went through our high school. That's the family of Ethan. That's the family of Fish. Oh yeah, did you hear he drunk drove and killed somebody? What do you think they thought of my parents? My brothers? So I help end all that. Because even with all my degrees and doctorals, I still can't get jobs because I'm still labeled as a felon. Think about that. 23 years later after my accident, I passed the Texas State Insurance and Annuities license just for fun, and they wouldn't allow me to get a license because of my past. Choices and consequences. They don't just impact you now, they impact you 10, 20, 30 years later, whether you want to realize it or not. How many millions of Americans can't get jobs because of their past mistakes? How many parents right now can't get jobs because of their past mistakes? How many hide their issues from their kids? This world is tough. I'm not gonna lie. This world is difficult. And it's even harder when you make the wrong choices and the wrong decisions. So allow me to coach your kid virtually. And I have, other packages where I come to your family and I help break down not only your family dynamic, but the skills and the videos, how your kids play, how they treat themselves on and off the court. I'm here to help change your kids' lives, not just for 1 year and their basketball season. I'm here to change their entire futures. My favorite story, one of them, it's on the website. I spoke in Tennessee in 2024. A young man came up to me and said, "Mr. Fisher, I just want to say thank you. You saved my life. I've been sober since 2018 because I saw you speak at my middle school in Colorado." That's right. He saw me speak at his middle school when he was an 8th grader in Colorado. And he remained sober from 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, and 24. And that's right, all through the pandemic. And changing social situations and new friend groups. Do you know how hard that is to move from state to state when you're in middle school and high school? And then all your friends, new friends who are trying to pressure you into doing things, and he said no and remained sober? How amazing is that? 6 years. And if you put that into a financial calculator, you can actually see the money that I saved him from drugs and alcohol. If he was educated, he could have put that money into an index fund. And he'd have an extra $30, $40, $50, $60,000 for his education when he graduated high school if he would have just put that money away. See, those are the things that I help teach. Things that most people don't even think about. What about this age of AI? How many of them are learning how to build their own websites, build their own businesses? Because the reality is, most white-collar jobs are going to be gone in the next 5 years. So all you business consultants, you're not going to have a job. All you accounting individuals, finance professionals, graphic design studios, you won't have a job. How about we start preparing your kids to think about entrepreneurship? One of my degrees is starting businesses, building websites, building SaaS platforms, software platforms with AI that can do it for them. These are things that I challenge students to think about. So it's not just basketball. Basketball is easy. What are they going to do with a degree? What are they going to do going to college? What are they going to do if they don't go to college? Are they going to start a consulting firm? Are they going to buy and sell shoes online and make a business out of it? Have you talked to them about that? How do you help them do that? Well, I can't. I can help them with all that because I've done it. I've started a nonprofit. I've started multiple businesses. I've made a lot of money speaking. I've also lost a lot of money in the industry. I've done things that most people can't imagine. I've written books, been on podcasts, I've been on headline news. I've done a lot of things. And I've done a lot of things that I wasn't proud of when I was 18, 19, 20 years old. I'm proud of the man I am after my accident. Most people couldn't achieve the things that I've done after my accident. Matter of fact, I know 99% couldn't. And you can say that's egotistical, you can say that's overconfident. I just know what I speak from fact. As Shaq would say, Google me. You can see everything that I've done or overcome. And I'm not bragging. I'm a nobody. I'm Coach Fish. The somebody that can help your son and daughter become a somebody. So they don't end up like me, making those choices and failing out of 5 college basketball programs because of drugs and alcohol. And nobody knew why I failed out. It wasn't because I was dumb. Because I was drinking and partying, because I was covering my mental health issues that nobody talked about back in the 80s and 90s. You were laughed at if you talked about depression. People would make fun of you if you talked about depression. I've been dealing with depression since I was in middle school. But those are the things that nobody talks about. And again, that's what my job is. 750 schools across this country, 44 or 45 states. Over 600 different schools, because multiple schools have booked me 5, 6, 7 times. Universities and athletics. I'm saying all this because I've seen it. I've spoke to almost 30,000 students individually after my events. 30,000. I've heard the stories that you guys can't imagine. Kids being trafficked. The drug and alcohol use that goes on in schools. Principals telling me they have no drug problems, and then I go into the bathroom and kids are doing lines right there. This world is messed up. I can help them navigate that. Coach Fish. Not only am I a speaker, entrepreneur, basketball player, basketball coach, skills trainer, author, student, all that stuff. I'm only taking on 10 clients because I want to pour into them and help change their entire futures. That's what I'm about. I don't just want to impact their life for a couple months. I want to help them be the best version that they can be. So please show up to the workshop. Because once I book my 10 clients, I'm not taking any more until that year's done.